green light, go, go, go.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round one of Fats GT's GT3 series. This race, points are on offer. 23 turns, 6.2 kilometers of track, and we are trying to keep the conditions as close to real life as possible. We'll be starting the race early in the morning as the drivers come out for their qualifying times. Unfortunately, last week's prelude winner, Middleton, is not here this evening. That means we will have a new P1 by the end of the race. So let's see who can get those top points today and cement the positions at the top of the table for the coming season. See Boss still sporting the Cat Puke livery. Very nice there. Lots of new faces. As the drivers start to slowly come out on track. Bear with me here as I sort some issues out. So last week's race, the preload, was a fantastic one. It was looking like a close battle, P1, P2, P3, all until P2 and P3 suffered some race mistakes, given the win to Middleton. Let's hope for another closely fought battle today. Looks like it's the Ferrari Cup today. At least 50% of the grid in the Ferrari 296. But they didn't bring the win home last week, so let's see what happens here today. So we have former champion Levi Warner looking to make a name for himself, the only Mustang on the grid today. Fast driver, nicknamed Torpedo for various reasons. We also have two-time champion Neil Baslia, 51 Ferrari 296, also looking to regain his crown. We'll stay on board with Baslia here as he comes around and tries to complete his first lap. So the biggest news this season is that current champion Respect Pappy cannot attend because he's prioritising his studies and being a responsible adult. This means this season there will be a new champion. A lot of drivers chomping at the bit to get the illustrious title. Very cold track today, hovering around 9 degrees at this time of the morning. Conditions that Bathurst rarely sees. Scariest section of the track down the S's into the dipper. One wrong move, you're out, and probably collecting 4 or 5 cars behind you at the same time. To the tight left. Back onto the Conrad straight, where a lot of the overtakes today will be made. Before he approaches the heavy braking zone into the chase. Someone's kindly taken out the braking boards already. And full throttle all the way down. Just past the second brake board on the right. Hard on the brakes through Murray's corner. Onto the pit straight. Baslia would probably put this on pole. There we go, P1 for Baslia. Hard brake into Hal's corner and then the mountain straight. Warner instantly replying. Putting in a faster lap time, he goes P1 in that Mustang. Now the question with Warner is never if he's got the pace, it's whether he can have a incident-free race. He's an all-or-nothing kind of man. He goes up into the cutting. And it hits the right. Stay tight. Into Griffin's Mount. On the left into Solomon Park. Ooh, kisses to concrete there. He does not yield, this man. Down to Skyline, into the S's. Through the dip up. And the hard brake, and the left through Forest's Elbow. Let's see what the order is so far after a lap. Levi Warner in P1, Basilier P2, 4 temps back. Bit of a gap there to P3, but lots more times to be posted. Williams, another driver to watch out. Very quick last week. Very, very quick. He'll be up there for sure. See how he's doing. Just Murray's corner left to go for Williams. P4 there, not bad. Baz behind him in P5. We'll stay on board with Rodriguez here. 1.3 seconds up. Looking like a strong lap. See if he stays tight to the Forest Elbow. A little bit wide. But he's still a second and a half up on his time. It's going to be a huge improvement. That braking board missing on the right's really going to cost some people, I think. That's another 2 temps up there for Rodriguez. Just Murray's corner left to go. Oh, he smashed that. 2 seconds up. Where would this put him? Back to P10. Tournier was another very quick driver last week at Paul Ricard. Got caught up in a few incidents, unfortunately. Porsche very quick on the straights. Should be strong around here, but does struggle on the tyre life. We'll find Basilier and see how he's doing in this quest for P1. 10th up on turn 1. I think he needs 4 temps to catch up to Warner. Oh no, Warner's put in a stinker of a lap, 2-minute 1.4. That's going to be tough for anyone to beat today. That's an unbelievable lap, that. How close can Basilier get? Two temps up. Very committed there through the left as he comes up to the S's. Staying tight on the inside, early on the throttle on the exit. Looking like a strong lap, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Needs to try and find another half a second at least. Gains a little bit of time up there. Down into Murray's corner. Late on the brakes. Too late, possibly. Loses a bit of time. It will stay in P2 for now. Warner looking to run away with this qualifying session. Only time for a couple of laps left for a few. Still 4 drivers yet to put a valid lap in. Bathurst, probably the most technical track on the calendar. Williams has put a time in, but I don't think he'd be happy with that. Definitely got more in the tank. Looked very, very quick last week. Sturger still yet to set a valid lap also. P3 last week for Sturger. Really, I think we stay on board with Baslier here. Try to challenge that incredible lap time from Levi Warner. Baslier faster again, 4 temps up. This will get him closer, but he'll still be missing 4 or 5 temps. One thing he does have in the locker though is the tyre life of the Ferrari. It doesn't drop off quite as aggressively as that Ford does, and we all know Warner likes to run low TC, which eats at that tyre life a lot quicker. Lovely exit. Once again into Murray's corner. A lot quicker through there. You see that time get gained and gained. 2017. That's 3 temps off now. Last lap. Ooh, no, 2 more laps possibly. See how the rest of the grid is doing. So it's Baslier currently P2, looking to try and steal that fastest lap. Warner in the pits. I think he may possibly believe he's done enough there, but Baslier squeezing every 10th he can. Robert in 3rd, followed by Tournier, and then you've got Boss, Corral, Baz and Riches, all very close. I think Williams would improve on his time if he gets a quick clean lap out there. A little bit of a drift there by Baslier, that'll eat in his time by the time he takes the next left. It's there for him, possibly. Needs to find another 10th and a half. And there's traffic ahead, he won't want to see this. He did dip into 3 temps up for a moment there. Can he get in that slipstream? He's so close to this P1. He'll be begging Niels to slow down slightly. This is going to be close. Bit too conservative there through the left. Let's drop to 10th. That may cost him. Oh, and there's a car off. Colmos. Don't know what's going on there. Unfortunately, unless Niels gets past him here, there's going to be no room for improvement. The 46 BMW doesn't have to let him past, and that'll be it. That'll be it for Baslier. So it looks like Warner is going to take that P1 spot. Two tenths was all the gap was. They look head and shoulders above the rest of the field. Might be a 2-horse race today. I think Williams will be too pleased. Versterger put his lap time in. That put him up to 6, just behind Boss. That's midfield looks very stacked, very close. Let's see if there's any changes. Baz puts his car on 5th. Great last lap there. Very close to 4th also. You have a race today in that midfield. I think there's going to be a good battle for P3, P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, P9. But what a lap that was by Warner. I think he knew for a while that would be enough. Decided to take the rest of the qualifying session to relax. So we wait for the final cars to come across. Tournier improve. Q4 for Tournier. Basselier will be thinking that he could have taken that, but here comes Williams, 1.3 up. He will gain positions here. This might put him top 5 potentially. Did he cross the line in time? Yeah, he did. P3. Fantastic last lap from Williams. Fantastic. Just Pippin Roberts there for P3. Remember, if you are watching, it is a 90-minute race, drivers, if you're out there. Can't win the race on lap 1, but you can lose it. So as we start, we'll have Levi Warner P1, followed closely by Niels Basselier, P2, Williams snatching that 3rd spot on his last lap. In P3, P4, Robert, followed by Tournier in P5, Baz P6, be happy with that. Rutgers P7, it's a great performance. Boss P8, Versterger P9, I think he'd be thinking he could do a bit better. And around P10, they make up our top 10. Once again, a lot of Ferraris, but none at the top. As we wait here just to cool down before the start of the race. It might possibly be dark at the start of the race, 5 AM start local time, as those temps will be low but probably climb a few degrees by the end, so I hope people have sorted the tyre pressures out for that second stint. Pit window is set to open 30 minutes into the race and stay open for another 30 minutes. 1 mandatory stop for fuel and tyres. Let's hope we can have a clean first lap here. It will be a full formation lap. Warm those tyres up. It is going to be cold, as I just mentioned. 2 drivers unfortunately not setting times there, but it's not necessarily a bad thing being at the back, going through that mountain. Don't want to get caught up in the carnage that might possibly be. Yep, and it is pitch black out there. I think the nerves would be setting in. I don't think many tracks have claimed more pieces of bodywork than Bathurst. So we get no stray wallabies or kangaroos going across the track today. And it's all clear and safe and everyone comes back in one piece. I think fortunately, because I am a noob, I don't know how to do helicopter cam. So we'll try and stay in the middle of the pack. Board with Rodriguez for the start. Trevistan making the comment there that we're driving on ice cubes. Yep, it is cold. 8 degrees the track. Never seen Bathurst this cold. As we wait for the start of the race, everyone doing the finishing touches to their setups, making sure their pressures are correct, the fuel is spot on. 30 seconds, don't forget the click drive, gentlemen. Now Baslia has famously had issues with disconnecting at the start. Let's hope he doesn't get this today. Starting from P2. Levi Warner, a little flash of the lights in anticipation as we start the warm-up lap. Season 3 champion leads the way, followed by the Season 1 and 2 champion, Niels Baslia, and the rest of the grid making their way through. As all these drivers try to thoroughly warm those tyres up, I think it is needed. So we have someone pull over. I think that's Rodriguez. I hope everything is okay. He's away again, thank God. Little bum squeaking moment. I never know if warming up the Mustang's tyres are a good or a bad thing. With the tyre life that thing has, you might eat it all away in one lap. So let's have a little look at livery of the day. We can kindly say that, boss, it's still not yours. The Cat Puke Gold. Unfortunately, my friend, sorry. It's hard to really see the liveries. God, this looks dangerous, doesn't it? I think we all need to start a GoFundMe to get some flipping street lights sorted on this track. Oh, this is going to be carnage. Baz again would be happy with starting from P6, I think. That's a great achievement. And Williams will be chomping at the bit from any mistake from Basselier and Warner. It does look like everyone behind Basselier and Warner will be off the pace if quality is anything to go by. But it's Bathurst, anything can happen. As we come down the mountain, look at those views. So I think the sun will start rising after about 10-20 minutes. I could be wrong, so I hope it's not too long. It's quite a sight, seeing all those cars come down the mountain straight. Actually, I think the mountain straight is on the other side. The Conrad straight, correction. So we will go back to Rodriguez in the middle of the pack to watch this start. The last attempt to warm those tyres up. But what a sight that is. Let's hope everyone can get through this first lap safely, cleanly. It is a long race. As we come round to the final corner, so those lights prepare to turn green. One more left and away we go.
Green light.
And here we go. The start of the 90-minute of Bathurst, round 1 of Fats GT. Turn 1. Can we stay relatively clean? No, we definitely can't. Some carnage in the midfield there. There's some big carnage. Oh, that's horrendous. That is horrendous. That's going to make things interesting. Stewarding report's going to be a busy day tomorrow. It's not a great start, but maybe a third of the field caught up in that. One man in the pits already. It's the car 60, the 60 car of Versterger. 745 is back to the pits also. We're trying to see how Levi Warner's doing. Levi is, oh, big slide by Warner. Huge damage. These temperatures really catching people out. That's going to be a huge amount of damage there as Williams is steamed into P1, followed by Basselier. Warner in third. And Robert just behind them. Well, we said there'd be carnage. And we weren't wrong. How bad is that damage? Oh, it looks bad. He's going to have to repair that. I think he's fighting with the car to keep it straight. Oh, that was a rough start. Warner still managed to pull away from P4 somehow. Oh, Basselier having to outbrake. Warner will take that. I don't know how he's keeping that car. That was a huge collision from Warner. I don't know how he's keeping that car up to pace. Williams done well just to work his way through from P3. Minderhood, great start up to P7. Bass P6, lost the position to Boss, it looks like. Williams will be happy with that start. Rodriguez staying where he started. As we try and figure out what happened at the start. So that's Harrell, Vesterga, Trevisan, Niels, and Riches, unfortunately. All caught up in that. A few people calling it a day, unfortunately. I never understand that, because if anyone else can crash out and have an issue, there are still positions to be gained. 90-minute race. Warner doing very well to stay up to pace here. Sorry, loud phone. He'll have surely at least 20 seconds of damage on that thing. That was a huge shunt into the wall. Williams will feel him breathing down his spine. Actually, he'll be biding his time. Robert, 1.2 seconds off behind them. He'll be struggling to keep this pace up. So as it stands, this is the running order. Williams up into P1 from P3, Warner down to P2 from P1, Baslier down to P3 from P2. Williams coming out on top. Then you have a Robert, followed by Boss, followed by Baz. Minderhood, P7, again, cracking start from that man. Tournier all the way down to P8. He must have had an issue also. P9 for Colmos, Bruce, P10, Cork, P11, Rodriguez in P12, Travisan, P13. Riches obviously caught up in that mess. P14, Niels and Vesterga make 15 and 16. These three, P1, P2, P3, all very close still. Robert is hanging in there, 1.1 seconds. See if we've got any other battles on track currently. As Bruce tries to hunt down Rodriguez, almost has a moment himself. Sturger now finds himself a few laps down. He might have disconnected, unfortunately. I think he's feeling very bad about that. He did apologise in the Discord, so I don't know whether he caused that big incident at the start. He has gone. Stay on board with Warner as he tries to hunt down the car of Williams. There's Cork off the track. Tournier also trying to hunt down Minderhood. The Porsche does have the pace in the straight. Can he make it count? We will follow them up and down the mountain. Very close. As he thinks about sending it up the inside, thinks better of it. It is still early days. Williams look to have the tidier lines. Little scrape on the wall. The fast left. Ooh. Minderhood makes contact with the wall. Don't want to do too many of them. That damage will build up. Minderhood. Oh, this could be bad for Minderhood. Tournier will gladly take that. He goes through. It's unfortunate. This is Bathurst. Oh yeah. Hope everyone got through that safely. Riches gets overtaken by as he's a lap down. There's Warner still chases Williams. That does put Baslier a little bit further back. Williams really trying to hold on here. Trying to break the slip of that Mustang. As this will be possibly Warner close enough to make that slipstream count and get past the Ferrari of Williams. Let's see. Here he comes. Switches to the outside. I don't think there's quite enough track there. Oh, is that Baslier getting close now? Yes, Baslier. Robert has caught also, finding his pace now. It's a four-way battle up here. Baslier looking very clean through that left-hander. Whoa. So I'm nervous just watching. Imagine what these drivers are feeling. Warner taking another hit. Baslier following his line. Another hit for Warner. He cannot sustain too much more damage. Baslier's going to want to get past him as soon as possible. Do wonder how much damage that Mustang has. Oh, it sounds like a broken record, but Warner going defensive. Williams having a slight moment coming off the track that will allow Warner to get closer. Oh, they're really pushing this. Warner going for it again on the outside. He'll have this. It's unbelievable. This man could take this punishment and still gain positions. Williams have to worry about Baslier taking that space on the outside. Great exit there by Baslier. I don't think he'll make this move though. It's a scary one. And then Robert tries to sniff at Baslier. Game of chess right now here at Bathurst. They won't want Warner to break away though. Williams sending it down the mountain. Very well to keep that car under control. Warner already opening a 2-second gap since the overtake. We're checking with the rest of the grid. So Robert's still hanging on behind, but losing ground. Maybe a moment for the mountain. 3 seconds back is Boss. 3 seconds back from him is Baz. Where's Tournier? quite far back, unfortunately. So the field is very spread out right now as Colmos and Bruce come into the pits. Maybe more moments for them, looking at the state of their cars. Richards will be looking up to make some positions up from the start. Same with Niels. Baslia will look to try and make a move here on Williams. Let's try and stay in touch and distance of Warner. Let's get a wheel in, but it won't be enough. Again, will allow Warner to make some time up. As the sun starts to rise in Australia over the mountain. Warner now stretching out the gap to almost 3 seconds. That's what happens when you fight. Sometimes you have to use your brain. Wonder if it's in your best interest to do so. Because it looks like Warner is flying right now, and that's in that clean air. This is where Baslia will want to make this move. Don't think he's close enough. No, he won't be. I think really you're looking to be in 0.2 seconds behind by the time you come off of the mountain. Any more, and it's not happening. Warner, corner by corner, starts to stretch that gap out. 2.29 from Warner. It's a whole second quicker than his competitors in P2 and P3. Starting to find his groove. I don't know how he's done it, because that Ford has taken a beating. Baslia will be looking to stay as close as possible to Williams coming out of the mountain. As Warner still stretches the gap. Five seconds now. Maybe just a little too close there for Baslia. So let's see, Minderhood in the pits. A lot of people struggling today. Oh, a little moment for Baz, but he manages to hold it. These cold temps really catching people out today. It's 3 seconds back from Boss, and then Boss 3 seconds back from P4 of Robert. Rodriguez looks to chase down Cork, made up a few positions, up to 9th from 12th. So it's going very strong. Consistency is the key here. People will make mistakes. This might be the moment. Cork struggling down the mountain there. I think this is where the pass will happen. Cork looks to have some damage on that Porsche. Cork up to P8, very impressive. 40 seconds to make up the P7 though. So get your head down, Rodriguez. Keep on grinding. Warner's still going strong. Rear end of that Mustang does look a bit beaten up, but making it work. Fastest lap of the race so far, 2:27. Very impressive under these conditions. Very controlled down the mountain. But we're about 20 minutes in, which is when the tyres start to go on the Mustang, I believe. So still 12 minutes to the pit window. Will he choose to repair any damages? I don't think he'll need to. He steamed away to a 7-second gap, almost an 8-second gap on Williams. Williams feeling the pressure from Bathurst. Neil's very still on it. I think he'll want to tow that. Very unsafe. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Pulls over to the side of the road. Don't think there's any shame in towing that, Niels. He's going to try and bring it all the way back though. Oh God, he's gonna... Jeez. Good Lord. So I hope the sponsorships at Bathurst didn't pay too much money, because all their hard work's gone, and he does decide to tow. It's Colmos there, tries to chase down Bruce. P13. 7 seconds the gap. Boss is slowly closing to Roberts, I believe. Or is he not? No, about 4 seconds each way. See how Bathurst is doing with the challenge of Williams ahead, because lap by lap, Warner stretches that gap and gets a little bit more unreachable. They'll be trying to get as close as possible again by the time they exit the corner. Get onto the Conrad straight. Still just outside of that magical slipstream of 0.2 seconds. But won't be enough to catch him. I wonder how much this is starting to frustrate the Belgian. Minderhood attempts to catch Riches. P11, 206.4 for Riches. Don't think Minderhood has the pace to catch him. Riches will be getting away. Has found some positions since the incident lap 1. Getting his head down and driving nicely. It looks like, I believe, Bass has lost the position to Boss. Maybe he had a moment. I think he has. We lost 5 seconds to him. He was... Oh no, my mistake. He was in P6. Losing a little bit of time to Boss. I think we're reaching that moment now where the pit strategies will do a lot more talking now than the racing. Bathurst again close to Williams. This could be where he needs to be to make this move happen. 0.2 seconds. This will be close as they come into the Uphill left-hander at the end of the straight. Very hard in the dirty air this corner. Still not close enough. What does this man have to do? I wonder if he'll be thinking about the early pit and the undercut if Williams doesn't box. Great exit there by Baslia. Moves to the outside. Oh, big moment there from Baslia. How bad was it? It was fairly bad. Maybe the frustration just building. Not being able to get past Williams, getting a bit too desperate. He now has 5 seconds to make up on him. That's given Levi Warner 10-second gap on P2 now. That could be very costly for Baslia. Do feel he had the pace on Williams if he just got ahead of him, but we shall see what he's able to do. Still over an hour left of this race. See if Boss has made any gains. He has made gains on Robert. Ooh, almost a moment there for Boss. Any gains have just been handed straight back. 4 seconds the gap remains to Robert in P4. Boss will want this position. So well, fair play to Riches. Big damage lap 1, but it started to come back up through the field. Baslia will try and make up that time as quick as possible. But then if he does, he's got to do the job all over again. But he has made up a second on Levi Warner. So either Warner's maybe picked up a little bit more damage or had a moment. Again, this is where the Mustang tyres start to struggle, so we will keep an eye on that gap. It's a war of attrition in that Mustang. You give, you lose. You'll make the most of every lap. 2:03.5 for Warner. That was not the same pace he's been hitting recently for the last few laps. Schuminius or Neil Baslia takes 4 tenths off of him that lap. Baslia definitely got some pace to find. Boss puts in his fastest lap of 2:04.8, which is quicker than Boss's. Baz will look to try and come back into this race against Boss and Robert. I think Warner is starting to struggle a little bit with those tyres. We'll stay on board for a second and see how he's doing. 10 seconds to gap to Williams right now. Very smooth. He comes down into the S's. Mustang riding those curbs beautifully. He looks like he's doing fine. Although he has one dodgy lap and then goes on to possibly put in another PB for the race in. Another fastest lap. The 10th up currently, so he's back on the pace. A little bit deep. Holds it. Neil's chugging away. Fair play for not leaving after the issues he's had. What we'd like to see. We don't like any quitters around here. Robert still holds that P4 position. Boss still trying to hunt him down, but that gap staying at 5 seconds as Williams puts in 2 minutes 3, but Baslia taking 8 tenths out of him. Just looks to catch Rodriguez. P10, 8.5 seconds to gap. rear of that Ferrari looking a little bit scratched, a little bit beat up. Trevisan doing well in P8. Be happy with that, I think, after where he started. Bit by bit, that gap closes down from a 15-second gap to P1 to a 13, from a 5-second gap to P2 to a 3.8. Baslier chugging along, bit by bit, getting closer and closer. He's not going down without a fight. Williams having a moment, has to bring this to a stop. Very bumpy down there. That might allow Baslier back into that slipstream. It's a good second loss there for Williams. Did well to keep that on the road there, Williams. You go down a little bit too fast, you take off over those bumps. Very interesting to see what Warner does here. Does he pit early to get back on those fresh tyres and extend the gap? Because he does have the pace on fresh tyres over these, over his competitors. Or does he try and do a 50-50 stint and play it safe? I think that would be the better option. Pit around the 45-minute mark. Just try and nurse the tyres home for the last 15 minutes. 2:02.7 now for Baslier. Very fast lap. See if Riches has taken a second out of Rodriguez. He is closing in. We will keep an eye on that. Rodriguez with a 2:09.8. Riches taking 7/10 out that lap. Now Boss has closed the gap on Robert, but he does have a blue flag in Trevisan in front of him. He'll be looking to get past as soon as possible, but blue flags up the mountain. Treacherous thing. As the pit window opens, we will see what people will try. I imagine Baslier may try a slight undercut. I don't think he passes Williams on track, so I think the undercut is the wise choice. As we do have a spinner, and it's Robert. So that'll hand P4 to Boss. I hope that damage isn't too bad there for Robert. He's had a good race up until that point. Where is he? Being very respectful on that track rejoin, we do like that, but a loss of rear damage, even more there, to kiss on the barrier. He'll be away. Well done to Robert for the safe rejoin. Get back in there, mate. Pit window's open. If you want to repair, now's the time. Boss now a lot cleaner in P4. Baz 6.3 behind him. Another position gain for Baz also. Tournier 3 seconds behind Baz, so he is coming through. Baslier, what does he decide to do? Does he try to get the overtake done on track and potentially lose time? Or does he go for the undercut? I would go for the undercut, Niels. Warner still holding the gap quite nicely, not losing too much time. Williams tries to squeeze. Williams got no time. No time for those blue flags. A bit risky. He says, "Can't you see this? I've got a crazy Belgian in my rearview mirror. Let me through." Again, that blue flag has let Warner make up a bit of time. And here we go again, slipstream range for Baslia. See, if I was Baslia, I'm not. I wish I was as quick as Baslia. But this is where I'd be thinking about an early pit. Get that track position. Be a little bit heavier with the fuel. Have a little bit more worn out tyres by the end. But if you can get past Williams, you'll probably gain time. So they've been stuck behind him. One over 2:02.3, so he's still incredibly competitive times at this point in the stint. Two 2:04.3 for Williams, 2:03.6 for Baslia. Bruce in the pits, maybe serving as mandatory. Robert also serving as mandatory and repairing. Same with Richards in the pit. See how they stack up. Richards, yep, mandatory served. Hopefully any damage. Yeah, it looks like he's got a new rear end. Damage is repaired. Bruce still in the pit also. Like a fresh new car, so everyone opts into repair damages. Tournier getting ever so closer to Baz now. .6 the gap. Looking like to have found his rhythm. Baz maybe sticking to the barrier a little too close there on the right hand side. Lovely racing there from Tournier. Lovely racing line. Ooh, little kiss to the wall. That might compromise his ability to overtake. However, two blue flags ahead, racing side by side. For position, Minderhood and Richards. Oh, big ball moment. Oh, that's the grass. He will stay out of the wall. Crisis averted. Let's be careful of the rejoin. Oh, Mario. It's unfortunate. You need to be a bit more conservative there, I believe. That's Tournier. He also spins. Oi, 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 oi. Travis Sant serves his mandatory pit. It's a bit messy there from those boys. I think one was a blue flag. I think that's how Tournier spun. Was on blue flag of Minderhood. Tournier won't like to see them going through, but they are racing. Right. Minderhood still having to serve his mandatory pit stop. Traverson actually lost the position there, letting Tournier go through, as he was a blue flag. Minderhood took it off of him. Be a bit annoyed with that, but again, does need to make his pit. This will help Baz get away from Tournier. He was closing. Looks like Baslia has made the move. Williams unfortunately missed it and all that commotion. 2-second gap. But that fighting has allowed Warner to extend his gap to 15 seconds on Baslia. 2:02.6 posted, so he's still well on pace. As Rodriguez comes to serve in his mandatory stop. Cork now tries to chase Kolmos up for the mountain. Both also yet to serve their mandatories. Grid is kind of closed back in on each other again. Looks like Baslier is finding his pace. He has taken the fastest lap by a good 10th off of Levi Warner. I think Levi will be ever vigilant of that relative. He knows there's a man behind him with the pace to catch him. Extended the gap to Williams by up to 3 seconds. Top 5 all yet to pit. And we'll have a look at the current standings. As Cork still continues to chase Kolmos. This might get a bit scary here. Try and get on board with them for this. Lovely exit. I think he just needs to sit tight here and wait for the straight. Bit of an unnecessary lift there. Has lost him a bit of time. The car ahead. Oh, unfortunate spin. He has got Warner coming up behind him as well. This could... Warner passing safely. That's such a shame for Cork. He was looking to catch Kolmos. Let's hope he gets back on track safely. There is a car approaching. He sees it. And waits. Fair play there, Cork, mate. Good safe drive in there to let those cars pass. Well done. Tournier back in the pits for his mandatory. As time is coming down as Baslier continues to chase. Another blue flag ahead for Levi Warner. Niels gives plenty of room. .203.4 for Warner. Trying to see what kind of time Baslier is putting in. So 203.4 for Warner. 203 on the dot for Baslier. 0.4 eating out of him. Williams looking to have lost that pace now. The ability to hold on. Maybe a blue flag in the way. See if there are any more battles on track. Baz still chugging along. Cork will be looking to recover from that mishap and close back up on Kolmos. We'll keep an eye on that. Very impressive Warner today. Dodgy first few laps with some hits to the barrier, but My God, he hasn't looked back since. So close to that wall, you probably could even fit a hot dog between that car and the barrier there. So Levi Warner still holding the gap. That's actually on for his fastest lap of the race at the moment. Drive through for speed in the pit lane. That's Niels, that won't help him as he's four laps down on P14. But good on him for carrying on. Boss coming in for his pit. Williams just serving his. Baz has opted to go another one. Almost pits, sorry, and Cork continues to go on, so that's a position gain for Cork. Not net, but track position. All I feel now all Warner has to do is stay on pace. He'll get those new tyres soon, as we see that Mustang getting a bit slidey, but he may be about to set his fastest lap of the race. .2025, that is not bad on old tyres, not bad at all. The track will be warming up now. See how Robert's getting on after that mishap. P7 for Robert. He has got the pace to be further up the track. What is his gap to the other cars? I think it's too bad. Still top three, still yet to pit. The issue is not just the mandatory 30-second stop, but how much damage have these gentlemen got to repair? Williams in P4, but I think net P3 still. Bathurst is only 30 seconds up the road. Still yet to pit. I think those tyres of Basilia just about going off now. 13 minutes left of this pit window. The gap is actually, Levi's actually stretched that gap a little bit more back to 15 seconds. Hell of a drive towards the end of the stint. Stop and go for speed in the pit lane for Niels. I think it's the same warning as before, to be fair. Although that was a stop go, that was a stop go, so not having a good day. Which is it's what we like to see. Hasn't given up, it's kept on it. It's like Traversan made some substantial repairs in the pits. Had another moment. P13, 7-minute lap there. Kind of gets out of the way for Tournier. Stay on board with Niels Baslier for a moment. See if he manages to bring that gap to Warner down at all. I think Niels goes back to the pits again there. The other Niels having a tough race today. 16 seconds now the gap to Warner. Minderhood serving his mandatory stop, it seems. No real fighting going on at the track. They've all kind of split up again. As Baslier comes in to serve his pit stop. Let's hope there's no issues here and he gets stopped on time. That looked very good. Very good stop. Look at the damage on Minderhood. Body parts all over this track. It's claimed a lot of souls today. So we have another yellow flag on the mountain. Is that Williams? Car looking a bit beaten up. I wonder what this gap will be to Williams as he comes out. Baslier up. This car gets dropped and out he goes. About a 14-second gap to P3. So it looks quite safe in P2. Hand over to Warner for his pit stop. Will he come in this lap? Hopefully no speed in the pit lane. Had a little issue last week as he comes into the pit. Yep, doesn't forget to put his pit limiter on this time. So you would say that this is Warner's to throw away now. Driven an outstanding race all day. Kept that gap. Tournier is also one that's chugged along quite nicely. Trying to catch Boss in P4. Boss will be happy with a P4 here. Williams having another moment. Oh, it's a scary rejoin also. Look at the damage. Back at Williams, that rear end's going to be all over the shop. Boss will be rubbing his hands together. There is a P3 in. P3 on for Boss Jan. How badly will that damage be affecting Williams? Oh, yeah, he needs to get that car back in the pits as soon as possible. Nope. The testicles on this man are larger than most. He's going to try and go the next 36 minutes with that damage. Boss closing the gap up to 3 seconds with that mishap. Don't think that rear end is there at all, which is why he lost it on the fast. That fast right. Minderhood again in the pits. He's made a home here. Pit crew know him well. Something has happened up front. Something has happened up front. Warner has lost 13 seconds of time. And Bathurst is now within 2.7. So we have a race for P1 on. Try and get to Warner's car and give it a little look. No damage on the back. I don't know what has happened. Every time I turn away from these boys, something happens. We're on, boys. We're on for a race. Boss comes up to 1.3 behind Williams. So we'll stay on board with Boss as he tries to make this move. A very compromised Williams in this Ferrari 296. You can see that back end's all over the place. Too much aero damage. Sliding around every corner right now, Williams. Really think it's worth Williams trying to think about the big picture here. You could bin it into a wall with that damage and have a 4-minute repair time, or you could take the minute or two to repair that rear wing now and not lose too many points in the scheme of things. It's a long season, every point matters. Heavily compromised that Ferrari. As Neil serves a stop and go. Yeah, 3 seconds off the pace of Boss is Williams for this damage. Richards now looking to push back past Cork, who does still have to pit. He's only got 4 minutes left, so in the next lap or two, if he doesn't pit, that will be a large penalty. Hope he knows that. Have to change fuel and do fuel and change tyres. Vastly, that gap has grown. So right now on the fresh tyres, Warner does have the pace. We know Neil's got quicker, longer into the stint, so I wonder if Warner lost that time because he repaired the damage on his car so we could make these gains. I believe that's probably what has happened. Maybe he had 12-13 seconds of damage and he decided to repair. If so, it's paid off because he is pulling some great lap times. As Baz comes into service mandatory stop. And so does Cork. Now Warner takes the fastest lap there, 2:01.7. That is rapid, that's qualifying pace. The man has found his groove. Keep it on the track for 30 more minutes, Levi. First one of the season is yours. I think Robert would be a little bit disappointed with how this has gone. Could have been in the P4 position, P3 position. He does find himself a lap down. You see, he is catching Boss and Williams, who are third and fourth, so it's a little bit of a kick in the teeth. Richards has worked his way up to 7th. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but he has. After that huge lap 1 incident, a little touch to the wall, but that just shows, don't quit at Bathurst. People are going to crash, you are going to find positions. See, in a 90-minute race. Warner, bit by bit, extending that lead. It's quite frightening the pace he has around here in that Mustang. As Rodriguez looks to chase Cork, who may have had a moment. It might have been lost some time just letting Tournier through as a blue flag there, so we'll keep an eye on Rodriguez as he tries to push Cork and fight for P8. Damage to Williams, still quite something to behold. Looks like he's struggling to keep that car pointing straight. Boss looks to push. Lovely exit by Boss. This could be the moment. Williams sends it deep. Switchback attempt by Jan. Good defensive driving from Williams. The man can drive. This car might look like a piece of jelly that's been thrown in a grinder, but he can drive. Look at as Jan gets in the slip again. Work around the outside on this corner is never going to work. Or am I about to eat my words? Oh, touch. Ooh. Done well to keep it on track there, both of them. Williams goes wide. That will let Jan through. There we go. Yeah, Williams thinks better of it than to leave his nose in. So that's up to P3 for Boss. Fantastic driving. I think Baz had an incident. That's why he's been in the pits for a while. I think there's more to it than just a mandatory stop there. You know, 30 minutes left. Tournier could catch Williams with that amount of damage, you know. Out of the question, so Tournier could still be on for a P4. Stop and go for the 1-2-4 of Baz speeding in the pit lane. As I want Warner to be looking in front of him and not liking what he sees. 3 blue flags. It does have a 10-second gap to play with, but he's about to get stuck behind all 3 of these on the mountain. As Baz yields. Weaver passes one. And safely passes the other. That's good driving there from every party involved. Congratulations, you're all still alive. Williams does opt to box into the pitch so that to fix the damage, so that will give Roberts the position. Sorry, Roberts minus the S. Ah, that's a shame. Just learnt that it was a disconnect from Baz. So he would have rejoined and had to have sit in the pits for a bit. He was 5th, that is such a shame. Horrible thing to happen. Lastly, starting to find a bit more pace this stint. We're sitting in the 204s. Williams coming out of the pit in P5, so that is Boss. That's managed to get past him a few laps before, and Tournier's found his way back into P4. We'll find Warner, see how he's doing. 11 seconds the gap now to Baslia. I would like to say that is the race done and dusted, but it's Bathurst, anything can happen. I don't want to. I said I don't want to jinx anything. Even that scared me slightly. I thought to lose it on the curbing. Great car control down the hill. Roberts. Good minute back from P5, so I think he'll settle in P6. Oh, not a minute back, sorry, that relative is fixing itself. It'll be a good 30 seconds behind P5, but I imagine Williams has now fixed that damage. He has not fixed the damage. Maybe it was just the suspension he fixed and not the bodywork. So who knows? I wonder why he came to the pits. He's lost it again. Goes from bad to worse for Williams. Somehow he's back on the track already. Bit of damage there for Bathurst too. It's Boss up to P3. Fantastic performance from the man driving the Cap-U car. Roberts will probably want the position. I think Boss understands that he's quicker. No need to do anything risky. Lets him go. Smart move. Cork up to P7. He'll be happy with this. But he does have a Riches and Rodriguez on his tail. Russ has done well there. Let Levi go on a scary part of the track. Neil's tried his best, but just hasn't been able to hold on to the pace of Levi Warner. It's been quite something. Rodriguez takes a little detour there off the track. No damage done, but Bruce will be happy to see that. He'll be charging behind. Williams has opted to fix the damage, so I imagine that could give Roberts that position, and it has. I think that is the right call. Maybe should have done it earlier. So I don't think Williams would be too happy with how the day's gone. Probably ready to pack it in for the day. As it stands, there's no real racing to be done on track. The gaps have grown. The only way positions are changing here will be incidents and accidents. We do have a yellow flag. Is that a car just being a good blue flag? I can't tell who that is. 15 car. No, there is no 15 car apparently. Oh, there it is, Rodriguez. Traversan is back in the pits. Rodriguez had a bit of damage there. Bit all over the place there with the stabilisation. Richards, 12-second gap to Cork. Still has time to make that up. 19-second gap from Tournier to Boss also. Shall keep an eye on that. Warner improving his fastest lap by a tenth. Although he did lose 5 seconds on the last lap. 3 seconds to Basli, well 2 seconds to Basli. So maybe that was blue flags, the blue flag of Bruce. Or maybe he's approaching that lovely my tyres are dead moment with the Ford. Does seem a bit early for that. Pressure will be building. We'll keep an eye on that gap, 15.5 gap at the moment. It's incredible how late Warner brakes down to that section. Doesn't even lift until he has to brake. Just straight through. He has a bad lap, then he goes on to put a fastest lap in, potentially, on the next. Quite incredible, really. This looks like it's going to be a new fastest lap from Warner. Almost 2 tenths off his previous. Any question of tyre wear answered with that lap. Just loses it on the final corner, unfortunately. There's a lot of time on this track left for Warner. He could hit 2014 here. He's so much faster than anyone else, about 3 seconds faster than the next driver. Quite scary. Go to Tournier. Something happened there. Caught up behind a blue flag. Oh, bouncy moment there for Colmos in the 666 Lamborghini. The gap to Cork staying still about 12 seconds for Riches. Don't think he's going to be able to close it before the end. Baz trying to chase down Traversan. 8.9 is the gap. That is doable. Give Baz gets his head down after that unfortunate DC. He can get a position back. He would have preferred P5, but maybe P13 will have to do. 20 seconds almost the gap now for Warner. Minderhood chases Rodriguez, has a little moment. I think Cork has had a moment because Riches has passed him and already made up 6 seconds. But Riches, despite being caught up in the P1 carnage, I believe he was in the pit very early, has stuck his head down, said, you know what, there's still work to do, let that be a lesson. Race isn't over till it's over. Tournier gets very close to the wall on the right there. Warner looks to pass Riches. I think he'll just be... Oh! A little moment for Riches, who will let him go through. Steady on Levi. Let's not throw this one away. Oh, Riches. Shows us why he's got the biggest balls in Holland. Bruce will now try to also catch Cork. He does have damage. Keep an eye on that. 9 seconds to gap right now. Rodriguez has cleared Minderhood. Baz within 2 seconds now of Traversan. It's closed and closed and closed. Expect the move to be done in a lap or two. First time I saw Baz drive on this track was in the ATR 12 Hours of Bathurst last season. 2 hours in the pouring rain. This man didn't put a foot wrong. Usually so steady and stable. As he keeps pushing and closing that gap to Traversan. Little moment. Saves it. 1.9 the gap. That's been an expensive day for Ferraris. A lot of bodywork needed replacing today. Probably enough to bankrupt the GDP of Australia. We'll stay on board with Baz as he tries to chase down Traversan. 1.3, very quick up the mountain, Baz. Find Bathurst is always a track you dread, but once you've done 20, 30. Oh, big moment for Traversan. Baz will be careful here as well. As Traversan comes back across track, probably losing his steering after that hit. So that's P13 to Baz after the DC. As I was saying, Bathurst, one of those tracks you dread after about 20, 30 laps of clean racing. Something you just don't want to stop racing on. Very fun track. Well done to Baz for getting back into it. Cork actually catching back up to Riches. Was a 5-second gap after he lost the position. Now down to 4. Tournier has slightly closed the gap to Boss, but it's too little too late. Warner has basically started driving to round 2 of Fats GT3. It's flying. As he comes up to lap the man who was right behind him at one point. So a shout out to this man, he kneels, has not thrown in the towel when many of us have. Doesn't matter what's been thrown at him, he's kept chugging along. And he will finish this race. Boss will be happy with a podium here. One of his best results in Thatch. Cork again has brought that gap down to Riches. But Riches will have a final fight to get through. A few mistakes creeping in, maybe he feels the pressure. 208.8 for Riches, 206.6, so 2.2 taken out of him like that. We'll stay on board with Cork now as that gap shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. It looks like Richards took another tap on the wall on the left and might be damage that is causing this pace. Cork looking to be in a rhythm, has to be careful of that dirty air as he gets closer to Richards. It might feed it round here. It's not showing it. Richards looking like he's 95 car, Traversan getting a stop and go. Race control, maybe too much damage or sitting in the pits, I don't know what has happened there. Ooh, Court doing well to save it there. You don't want to touch that curb, does not help. Richards looking to find his rhythm again, starting to extend the gap on the chasing Cork. Bruce comes into pits, maybe an incident there for him. A lot of these drivers I just want to bring it home now. 7 minutes to go. Yeah, Rich is finding his rhythm again, extending the gap. Tournier's had some damage. 2:09 the last lap. Disappointing considering his best time is a 2:02.6, which is very fast. Just some inconsistencies creeping in. Warder now finds themselves, I believe it's 28 seconds up on P2. It's just extended the gap constantly as we have a yellow flag ahead. I think it's that Travistan again. Comes into the pits to serve a stop and go. So it was Minderhood that was off. Yeah, Rich is bit by bit inching away from Cork. Looks like his challenge is fading. I mean, the wild thing is, Levi, Mr. Warner, is that he looks like he's got the cleanest car on track, which is just something I've never seen in all my days of watching Levi Warner, but he's done it and he's reaped the rewards. I think this is a huge statement of intent for the rest of the season. It will take home the biggest score of points into next week. It's like Tournier off track again ahead. Yellow flag. I think this is how the race will finish today, as we are. Astley chugged along but just could not hold on to P1. Too much pace in that Mustang. Williams won't be a fan of where he's finished either. The gap between Cork and Riches holds at 3 seconds. So the only battle left on track to solve will be who finishes P7 and who finishes P8. Riches holds the gap steadily at 3 seconds. You know he's faster down the mountain. That blue flag waves to let Baslia past. Sure will happen. on the straight. Robert is now within 6.2 with P4. Tournier did pit again. I assume for damage, no other reason, or fuel. 6.2 the gap now. Maybe only 2 laps left of racing, depending on where Warner is. So yeah, that'll be 2 laps to go. As Robert ruins any challenge on Tournier. Tap into the wall. Great recovery drive for Tournier after the lap 1 incident. I believe he also got caught up. So I think he'll be happy with P4. I think Boss will be over the moon with P3. Richard's comfortably getting away from Cork now, so just has to bring it home these last 2 laps. P7 will be his. Trevisan hopefully leaves the pits for the last time. Big hit from Minderhood onto the wall. Basley will just be coasting around here now. Won't want to get caught up in that. Yeah. He's through. Oh, Minderhood. Day to forget for this gentleman. The 2 yellow Ferraris having a mare. We'll stay on board with Warner.
Alright, man, the leader is on the final
as
lap.
he starts his last lap. 2:01.9 at this point in the race. Fantastic drive. Dominant performance here for the former champion. Mustang specialist. Knowing Warner, he'll be going for this fastest lap to improve it. Can't get closer to the wall than he just did. 2 temps up. 3 temps up. Not the greatest exit though. Man is madness by definition. Kiss on the wall. Oh. How he's held that and drifted it round is just beyond me. That's what that is. Levi Warner leads the race for 95% of it. Still isn't happy, so wants the fastest lap. I think he's showing off now, trying to drift. Yep, TC is off. Scariest man on 4 wheels. I think he's showing off now. He's performing for all of you viewers, all 3 of you. Just bring it home, Levi. Pardon my French. He comes around to the final corner. And finishes the first race. Oh. Absolute madness. Finishes the first race, P1, takes all the points. 30 seconds up on the next closest driver. Wild. So I hope disqualification isn't possible. Doing that, Levi, just be warned. Disqualification could be possible, even after they come across the line. It's Basilia. takes P2. And Boss will be very, very happy as he comes on across the final mountain straight. P3 in the bag. And that's what happens, Levi. You get disqualified. P3 for Boss. Well, P2, because Warner has been disqualified for driving in the wrong direction. Had already finished. Not sure what we're going to do about that. We'll have a discussion. So that is depending on what we do with Warner. He had crossed the track but was facing the wrong way after he had finished. I'll read it as it is, depending that we give him P1. It will be Warner P1, Baslier P2, Jan P3, Bosch Jan P3, Tournier P4, Robert P5, Williams P6, Rutschers P7. Very silly boy Warner. We will see what we do with this decision. But stay tuned for next week's race. I'm not sure if we're streaming that one yet, or someone else may take the reins. I'm not sure yet. I believe I am busy. But thank you all for racing. Thank you all for everyone that finished. This was Fats GT signing off. Take care. See you next week.